Now, quite a while back, we made this F7 that we call our Blood Angel F7 because the paint we used on it is Blood Angel Red. Now, if you remember, we did put some blinding bright LEDs. And I'm going to show you. Do you remember how we did this? This is what we did. We used a bridge rectifier, resistor, a bunch of heat shrink, and look how we got them in there. But they still, one of them protrudes out the end like a big bulb, and the other one is recessed. And then we put them on this 2-pin connector. Okay, it's got a decent 24-volt motor in it. But what we need to do is make a duplicate of that F7 daylight we're working on, so we can test things here before we do it on that one. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the 280 motor in here so that they both have the same motors. Then we're going to take these LEDs out. We're going to put a beacon, and we're going to try to make a Mars light and a headlight. We've got two functions on those Digitrax decoders. That F7 is getting a decoder that has more than two functions and it can do other stuff. But we want to be able to have a Mars light here, headlight here, beacon up here. And then we want the 280 motor in there. That way we can test all this stuff and get it to work. And this should be a pretty big improvement because look at the size of the wiring that's in here. It's pretty big. So by adding this decoder and wiring up lights this way, I think we're going to get a pretty neat effect. Then we will know, we'll copy some of that to the Southern Pacific Daylight F7. And that ought to be, and then we don't have to worry about mistakes. We'll already have it tested and we can get that one right the first time. Okay, got the wire swapped out, got the decoder in, 280 motor, and we did a little light setup. So I got the new lathe built, and it's perfect for this purpose. We're going to look at the lathe I built. Cost me, but well, I used an Amazon gift card of $25, so I think I spent 25 bucks on it. And it's perfect for this. So what I did was I took the lathe to some LEDs that are super bright like that, except they're yellow. And then I shaped them so that they would sit right inside of their headlight bracket. So now let's take a look what we got. So this should be the headlight. Alright. Oh, wait a minute. Oh no, don't tell me I put it on directional. I must have. And yep, I did not. I forgot to put it back to non-directional. So if you back up, the headlight shuts off. Okay. There's the headlight. Then I also put a Mars light and a beacon. So that's what the Mars light looks like. I put it on the same one as the beacon because I only got two functions on this decoder. And so I put the beacon on there and just left it on Mars. And yes, I used those round LEDs again, even though I pulled out a bunch. I have a bunch of these LEDs that are exactly the perfect size for a beacon. See if you can see that. See, where is it? There it is. They're exactly the perfect size. I matched it up to a detail part of a dummy beacon, and it's right on. But anyways, I figured out how to get everything to work together. It was a little tricky at first, but hey, now that we know, we can do it. But now if I go in reverse, oh, darn it, the headlight turns off. I have not done a speed table on this yet. Super quiet. Let's look under the hood. And I'm guessing that since it's the same type of LED I used before, when we first built this one, they're pretty bright. And you kind of got to be looking at them head on to see just how blindingly bright they are. Okay, now let's look what's underneath here. Alright, so I personally like these little round dome-shaped things. I know they're big, but I like them because I came up with Circuitron. If you remember Circuitron blinking LEDs, I put one in GP9, and I only got it to work like once because you have to use a battery and it's kind of complicated. Alright, so one of the things I did right off the bat was I found a 4-wire little pin connector disconnect. I put that in so that I can unplug this and take the shell off and work on it. And then all I did was I took some of that liquid electrical tape to hold them, except for the bottom one. That's got some goop on it because it needed a little extra strength. And I tried a bunch of different resistor combinations. But this is twice now that I've ended up finding using those. These are like 1 watts. They kind of seem like they're overkill to me, especially since right over here I've got a 1/4 watt one, and that is operating right now at 4.3 volts. I'm going to drop it down. Okay, at 2 volts it starts to get low. That's about 3 volts. It's pretty bright. And I've smoked a couple of those little ones on this one and on the GP9. I got the beacon. So I don't know. I'll have to think about that a little bit. But let's see what else we got here. Alright, so I've wired it in the usual way. Got the pads. This time I installed the 3-strip pad. And it goes yellow, blue, white. So I have on the white one is the headlight. On the yellow one is the beacon and the Mars light. And the beacon's not really a beacon, it's being flashed as a Mars light. That's pretty good. So I got the Digitrax here. This one I don't even think I need to really do anything with that. There's plenty of room in there. But it's not, we're not super clean yet on all of our wiring, but it's pretty good. It's not a bird's nest, which is good. I don't like those when guys are trying to, like, oh, what if you ever replace this decoder? Well, learn to join wires, and then you don't need that bird's nest. You can join wires. Look, I made a join right there. See that? See that right there? That's a join. It's not that hard. You can do it. And if I need to replace this pin connector to add the 4th wire in, I'll just put in a new one. I've got a bag of 100 of them. It was like $2. So I'm not really worried about that. These resistors, though, they're not so easy to come by. Fortunately, I had a couple of big bags of them. But right now, they're a little tough to get. All right, now, oops, I just threw away that piece of tape that I had on there for a reason. Let's put a piece of tape back on there. Let's close it up. And let's check it out. Now, to get this to work, engine driver function 0 is light. Function 1 is bell. Function 2 is horn. And horn and engine driver is momentary. So I was trying to figure out how to get this thing to go without reversing. And I mapped it to, I forgot to put it back on non-directional. So I'll have to do that. Yeah, I'm just going to stick a piece of tape on top of it. Because I don't know if I'm done with it or not. Maybe it's not totally ready for prime time. We have to test it a while. Let's go ahead and put it on here. Try it again. But this is the Blood Angel F7 from quite a while back. Alright, now let's watch this guy. See if we can get a good look at the lights. Here he comes. See the Mars light and the beacon. Now the Mars light and the beacon are in time with each other. I don't know how I like that, but because you can't actually see it that good from the side, as far as the Mars light goes, but it does have kind of a neat effect. Like it really looks like it's in there. That's from I polished the end of it using the new little mini lathe. Pretty neat, huh? All right. So now we know we can do this. We got a little experience and we can build on it, make it cleaner. And there's a bunch of stuff we can do with this. Looks pretty good. Pretty pleased with that. All right. Time to clean up.